What is going on, everybody? Welcome into another edition of NY Flight Jets Talk. I'm your host, Josh Woolever, filling in for a sick Connor Long on Thursday, May 15th, 2025. We've got a lot to unpack today. We're talking everything to do with the schedule, break down a little bit of a special teams dilemma, some would say, getting into everything and so much more. We go.
Jets, Jets, let's go.
Jets wide receiver Wesley Walker. Wesley, how you doing today? ESPN writer Mr. Rich Cimini, Jets reporter for The Athletic, Mr. Zach Rosenblatt, Hall of Famer and Jets legend Mr. Marty Lyons.
Your host, Connor Long.
It's Josh Woolever with you today as Connor Long is out, continues to be on the IL. But nonetheless, we have got a ton of Jets content to get into, to break down. If you're in the chat right now, toss your comments in there. Call in with the link that I'll be dropping in just a second. Hit subscribe, smash the like button, and hit subscribe. Connor is still sick. Is he dying? I don't think so, Jimmy. I still don't have the update on what it could possibly be. I'm no medically trained expert, but I do know he should be coming back pretty shortly. But he asked me to fill in today. I am more than happy to do so. Last night, Jet schedule came out. There's so much to unpack, so much to understand. Let's take a look at it real quick together on the screen. Quick rundown. Most of you have probably seen it by now. This is the biggest news out of Jets world recently. Steelers, Bills, back-to-back games at home in the first 2 weeks. Now that's really interesting. Then we go on the road for two, little Florida road trip, catch some sun in Tampa and Miami. Back home for Dallas, then to England, where we see the Broncos, technically a home game there, and then Carolina. So that's three technical home games. So the schedule is a little bit funky. Cincinnati heading into the bye week. That's week 9. Cleveland, and then the first meeting with New England. That's on the road in Gillette. Ravens, that's going to be a tough one. And then we have another bird team in the Falcons at home, followed by Dolphins. Back down south, Jags and Saints. Wrap up final 2 weeks, final 2 divisional matchups with the Patriots and Bills. Now, this is a really interesting schedule for a lot of reasons. Steelers, Justin Fields' revenge game in week freaking 1. I mean, it doesn't get much more cinematic than that. Also, can Aaron Rodgers possibly be the quarterback to that team? Is there a chance that Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers? Obviously, they went into the draft and they got their guy in Kyle McCord, but, that was a later round pick, so I'm not sure he's going to be the starting quarterback of that team. Link is in the chat now if you want to hop on and call into the show. But could Aaron Rodgers be the starting quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers? Jimmy says he's a certified medic to check in on Connor. Give him a call. Dial him up. I don't know what's up with him. I don't know if that Long Island area code is working over there. He might be in trouble. I don't know. I haven't talked to him. He hasn't answered my questions. But week 1 against Pittsburgh, now that's a really intriguing matchup. And I think the Jets come out of this with a surprising win. Mike Tomlin's team, those guys are competitive every single year. And obviously they've got the defense boiled down to a science. I mean, they finish above 500, barely squeak in every single year. It's just a routine at this point. But the offense just isn't good. I mean, they give away their wide receiver 1 to Dallas for a third just last week. They don't know what's happening at quarterback. Running back has been shaky. Najee Harris, here and there, can be great sometimes. Others, he's an 80-yard rusher. So they're always consistent, but I think this is the year that the Steelers find their drop-off. First time in a while I could see the Pittsburgh Steelers finishing with just about 5 wins. I mean, I don't think this is going to be a very good football team. Buffalo, week 2. I mean, come on, Jet fans. Don't even get optimistic at this game. I'm going to shut this narrative down where it starts. This is not going to be the perfect 2-0 start that I'm sure my friend Chris Grosso is dreaming of right now. This Buffalo team way overpowers us in basically every positional category there is. I don't think this game's going to be competitive. I don't think either of the Buffalo games are going to be competitive. Depends what's happening in Week 18. Our guy DTN chats in. I think Bills will rest starters in Week 18, but I don't know. I mean, it depends. If they've got the division locked up, that seems like the obvious move. If they're still hunting for some seeding, or somehow they haven't clinched a playoff berth, that could not be the case. But at Buffalo Week 18, I assume the Jet season's over by then, because I'm not going to be overly optimistic. I assume Jet season's over by then. So I'm assuming that is a worthless game, probably for both teams. So the Jets could sneak out a win there, maybe, as they did this last year, winning in Week 18 at home against the Dolphins is a little consolation prize to a terrible season. But Buffalo Week 2 seems like an obvious no to me. Now you go down to Florida for a road trip, including your first primetime game. You had all 1 o'clock starts leading up to Week 4 in Miami. But first, we got to go to Tampa Bay for week number 3. Now, listen, Tampa Bay is legitimate. I think they're going to win the division again, which they have 5 years in a row, because Baker Mayfield leads that offense really well. He's got a command of them. The running back room's great. Bucky, Irving, and White's in there too. And then obviously the receiving core is always consistent. And they do need a boost at the tight end spot, but other than that, that offense is pretty electric. So that's 1 and 2 for me. And then you go to Miami, prime time, and it's not going to be as bad as Buffalo, but they are certainly dropping their first 2 divisional matchups, because there's no way they go into Miami prime time unless Tua's a mess. They're not beating the Dolphins. This team does not have the receiving group to compete with the Dolphins. The offensive line's there, but they certainly don't have the defensive line there. Not even close. Pittsburgh, Miami, Denver, and Carolina as wins. Jimmy, we'll get to Denver in a second, but I don't agree with you there. So that's 1 and 3 to start, and then you come back home against Dallas. Now, this one's interesting. I have Dallas as a win here, so that would be 2 and 5 to start the season. This one could go either way, because Dallas could be shaping up to have a pretty scary offense. CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens does scare me, but Dak Prescott and whatever that running back room is, and a subpar offensive line, their defense can bring it, Micah Parsons and company. But I think that Dallas is a team that the Jets could easily compete with. And I don't think that's a problem. So first 5, I've got them beating Pittsburgh and Dallas, 2 divisional losses in Tampa Bay. I'll get chat's temperature on that real quick. Let's see. Jack Talks Jets in the chat here. We're getting swept by Buffalo this year. I have no hope. Like I said, we don't know what's going to happen in Week 18, but a fully healthy Buffalo Bills lineup, we could saw the game that we did in Orchard Park in 2024, and really every single year. I mean, it's never a competition when we go up to upstate. If Buffalo's playing their starters, we could easily see that level of a result, that level of an ass whooping both times. I agree with that, Jack. Alan, very proud of you. When Chris Grosso speaks, never listen due to bum. Well, Alan, I'll have to pass that information on. When I get Chris on here this weekend, I'll get on Chris and I'll tell him Alan told me to never listen to him. Jimmy Jett, he's got 4 and 4 as a start. Sorry. Jimmy's saying sorry for this. I mean, that is 4 and 4 as a start to that. We'll get into the next 3 Broncos, Panthers, and Bengals heading into the bye week, but 4 and 4 doesn't feel like an awful start for the Jets at all. Allen, Jets will go 2 and 6, maybe 3 and 5 before the bye. I think that's more where we're like it, Allen. I think the Panthers could be a winnable game, but the Panthers are certainly going to be a better football team than they were last year. Bryce Young really stepped up end of the season. We'll get into that in a second. But 2 and 6, 3 and 5, depending on how Justin Fields plays, That could very well be the case. Heck, I'll set the bar low. They could have a 1 win heading into the bye. This is not an easy part of the early season. Carolina, Dallas, Pittsburgh, pretty weak. Other than that, I mean, Broncos, Bengals, Dolphins, Bills, Bucks. That's nothing to laugh at, certainly. Scrolling down, just getting everybody's thoughts here. First 5 weeks. I have Jets 2-5, wins against Pittsburgh and Dallas. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Happy Thursday, everybody. Happy Thursday. Connor, you look smaller. New camera. This is not Connor. Josh Woolever filling in for a sick Connor Long, who continues his IL stint. Highlight Haven, my friend Matt chatting in. I have 8-9 for the Jets this year. We'll get to my full record prediction, but 8 wins feels like the ceiling for me for this team. I don't see them getting past that. Jets will get blown out. Cincy and Baltimore leaves us with 15 games to win 8 or 9. Still believe 6-11 is where we finish. Yeah. 6 to 8 win range. 6 to 8 win range. Miami is dysfunctional. We can take that game. Yeah, Miami is a tough one, Jimmy. And I think you arise a good point because for the past couple of years, Miami has had more star power than the Jets have. Better quarterback play by far. They've had more consistent play all around. Jonnu Smith really emerged for them last year. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. It was hard for the Jets to compete with the Dolphins. I don't know if it's going to be that level of production, though. I think the AFC East could see a significant fall off from what they were these past couple of years. Everyone talking about them as a powerhouse, especially when Rodgers got here. I'm going to go through weeks 6 through 8 real quick before the bye. Broncos, Panthers, Bengals. A lineup of animals. 2 of them home, but the first one is a home game in London. Week 6, wake up early, grab some tea. It's a 9:30 kickoff at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Last time the Jets played in London was last year against the Vikings, where they lost. Time before that, I believe, 21, where we lost to Atlanta. So the Jets have not been great in London recently. Can they turn that around again? Against the Denver Broncos? Simple answer, no. I think Bo Nix had a phenomenal rookie campaign that he'll only continue to build off of. I think that their defense is a force to be reckoned with, certainly nothing that the Jets can compete with. Man, when I see Broncos on our schedule, I just think back to something that makes me really mad as a Jet fan. Well, we gave away John Franklin Myers for a bag of peanut M&Ms. Really pisses me off because he had a great year last year, contributed to one of the best defensive lines in football out there in Colorado last year for the Broncos. If John Franklin Myers has a get-back game this year in London, week 6, and he shows up against the Jets in England, boy, that's going to make me really mad. They should have kept JFM, man. Panthers. This one's back in East Rutherford. Week 7, back on the normal 1 o'clock time. And I think this one's a win. Bryce Young has taken his steps, certainly that he needed to be compared to his rookie campaign where people were already calling him a bust as the number 1 pick 2 years ago. He took his steps, but man, their defense, that was tragic down there in Carolina. They have no real receiving. Chuba Hubbard out of the backfield doesn't excite me. Besides Xavier Legette, I mean, they got Ted McMillan this year, so hopefully their wide receiver core, hopefully for them it can get better. I think those two receivers, young guys, really have the potential to be great, but we haven't seen anything out of them. So that's really shaky, Carolina. I think they're going to be a really inconsistent team. They forced the Chiefs to overtime last year, and they were a real up and down squad. They took it late with the Eagles, and then there were a couple games where they were just completely uncompetitive. But I think the Jets pick up their 3rd win of the season in week 7 against Carolina. 3-4 heading into week 8, their final week before the bye. It's the Bengals coming to town. Now, look, the problem with this Cincinnati Bengals team last year, they were routinely scoring 30-plus points a game. Their defense was terrible. Trash. It was horrible. But offensively, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, yeah, that's going to do it for you. That's going to put up crazy amount of numbers. Joe Burrow got snubbed out of the MVP conversation because of how bad Cincinnati was. And mainly that's because of their defense. Just their offense was good enough to win them probably 12 football games last year. They finished around 500 because their defense was that bad. Look, this Bengals defense is new and improved. They restocked themselves in the draft. They're having problems with the contract of Trey Henderson, I believe it is. Trey Hendrickson. But Cincinnati, way too much firepower to compete with Justin Fields and the Jets. Let's look at how Justin Fields did last year in the 2 meetings between the Steelers and the Bengals. Let's see. I actually don't think Justin Fields played in it because he got benched after week 6. Correct me if I'm wrong. But that would mean that the Jets take 3 wins heading into the bye week, losing to Cincinnati, winning 2 out of their final 4. They win the 1 early against Steelers in week 1. That's my real upset pick here in the first week of the season. But we got our first caller of the day, a very special guest, our guy, the police officer, the beast breaker himself.
Yo, what's popping up in this party? And are we ready for game number 6 tomorrow night? Because tomorrow night, the Celtics are going to be singing Kumbaya, da, da, Kumbaya.
Oh, yeah, sing a beat.
Yeah, they'll be singing that, and they won't. The only thing they'll be singing is these words: "No Tortinos for you guys." Yeah, you guys will be getting the bum ship. I'm looking at the schedule here, and for some weird reason, we might have. I'm looking at this week 1 here.
Yeah, Steelers.
I see Aaron Rodgers getting his teeth knocked right out.
Yeah.
The Bills are going to be a heavyweight knockout, 15-round drag affair. Nothing more than like a Tyson Ali fight. Tampa, okay, I'd love to go to Tampa, but unfortunately with the way the weather's been, I don't think so. No, it's too hot for me, but I kind of see it's going to be a close match. Miami, nah, this is too easy. They got Zach Wilson. The guy is on word. He's a bum.
I think he's their third-string quarterback, Beast.
He's a bum. I'm sorry. Dallas, I'm not too sure, but Denver got one word last year. They were one word, lucky, because of the rain. And this Panthers match, I see no threat from them, not at all. Cincinnati, no threat. They're no threat. They don't pose a threat. I'm sorry. They don't look like the team they were from years ago. Unfortunately, they lost all their talent. They don't have the tools, and they don't have the zip. I'm sorry, but for the first 8 weeks, I see this happening. I kind of see a 5-3 going into the bye week.
Optimistic Beast. Well,
and the second week here, I'm looking at this one right here. Browns, no threat. Sorry, definitely no threat. The Patriots, another one. No threat. Too easy. Baltimore looks like a fight. It looks like a great, clean, heavyweight fight. Atlanta, I'm not too sure about Atlanta. They might not pose no threat because they got Jeff Ulbrich, who basically can't carry the load. I'm sorry. The guy has no brain. His brains are more like dipped in ragu. But on to another story. Miami, we go to them. Okay. All right. Let's see if they can muster it up, but I don't think they'll have the courage to muster it. The Jaguars, I'm not too sure on that one. Saints, not sure. Patriots, 1 word or 2 words say it, no threat. But if we go to Buffalo, you could definitely say you might have to think about having a 15-round Tyson versus Ali, a heavyweight fight in the ring. Nothing but punches and knockouts, and you could expect a lot of breakups in this kind of a match because Buffalo and New York, they don't like each other for 2 reasons. A, intense rivalry. B, they can't stand one another. And C, their qualities, they both got good quality, but there's one thing that separates the quality. Money. That's money. We're talking big dollars here. Buffalo is more like small change. New York City, That's big dollars there. Do you understand that? Big dollars, right? Yeah.
So, Beast.
Separate the big dollars from the change. Big dollars is better because big dollars get you big surprises and better talent. That's the way it goes. Buffalo, they'll get there someday, but they got the tools. They got the team. They got the guys they want, but there's one little problem. Not enough money.
All right, first of all, Beast, let me just clear this out for the viewers at home. So you have the Jets losing exactly one game post bye week. Am I understanding you correctly?
Several. There are several because Buffalo does oppose a threat, but
I heard just Baltimore. So Buffalo opposes
well,
a threat.
Baltimore, yeah, Baltimore looks like a threat because they have rebuilt their team. They got new cannons in their stock, and they got a lot of young prospects. They went out and spent a fortune. Okay, that's good. That's great. But Miami didn't look like they spent the right kind of money because unfortunately they look like small change. New England, same thing. Small change. Same with let's see. Denver did an okay job. Carolina did an okay job. Cincinnati don't look like they did a so good job. They
didn't do a good job. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, you don't have an issue with that?
You
think the
okay.
Jets
They look okay, but unfortunately the Bengals have been sucking for the last few years. I mean, I remember a time back in the 90s where the Bengals used to really suck. You know what people used to do? They used to put bags on their heads, paper bags with eyes going,
oh yeah.
Oh, is this
well, Beast, I got to tell you, Jets fans do that too. I mean, there are some embarrassed Jets fans.
we've known that for a few years now.
Yeah.
Look how embarrassing we are. We went from hardcore Rex Ryan to some local jobber, and then you bring in another guy called Todd Bowles who did a okay job, but he didn't quite get the tools he needed. And then you bring Adam Gase in. Who the hell's this fruitcake? Guy had no brain. And then the bum of all bums, Robert Saleh. Oh my God. Who hired this goof? I swear to God, I've seen Goombas better than this moron.
Beast, I love your breakdown of the schedule and the coaching staff. Well, let me just get you straight. You have the Jets winning, what, 14 games this year? This is all a cakewalk?
This is what I look at right now. Buffalo might get us. They might. I see the Cowboys.
As in 1-1, we split it with them?
I think so, because if we go to their house, you know what, how crazy those nutty people.
We don't play well in Orchard Park.
No, we don't. Nah, not a chance. The only time we played good in Orchard Park was a long time ago, before you guys were even born. I remember it clear because when I was 13, I remember watching the Bills getting the crap kicked out of them by the Jets, and Parcells set an example that, hey, now we got a football team. You know why? Because we went and got the talent. We spent the right money. All you got to do is put your finger on the button, look at your talent, see if you want it, and if you got it, give them the money. But here's the deal: you got to come to work for it. See, we know what to do now, because now that we got Glenn is a Parcells student. He knows the game. See, he's not going to play favoritism, and we're not going to play this country club crap. We're not going to play this other rubbish. We're going to get down. We're going to get dirty. We're going to shut up, and we're going to play. It's called hard-nosed football. If you want to earn it, you got to come up here and you got to pay for it.
All right, Beast. So you have the Jets as a 14-win team.
As a possibility, but if Aaron Glenn hangs on if he keeps his feet to the fire and he throws his weight around hard like Parcells, then we got a team. But in order for that to happen, blood, sweat, and tears, and paying the price. That's what brings you to the dance.
Amen, Beast. And I'm excited for it. And I think that's what that Aaron Glenn organization is for. Beast, I got one final thing, if you don't mind, before you log off.
Go on. Go for it.
I hate to be that guy, but your boy's a Brooklyn Nets fan. I am all for. Hey, whoa, Beast. Let me finish. I'm all for rooting for the Knicks. Born and raised in Brooklyn, I am a true Nets fan. But I hate the Celtics enough to be on board with Knicks in 6. Beast, I hope you have a great time. Good luck to your New York Knicks. And I'll see you when the Jets win 14 games this year.
Hey, as they all say, be all you can be. And remember, keep your nose in those books, because you want to make it in life, you gotta learn achievement from Dave Brigga.
All right.
You
Thanks,
know
Beast.
who Dave Brigga is, right?
Absolutely.
The man who rules Brigga University. And you know why I call him the dean, right? He's one tough man, and you can't break him.
Beast, thank you so much. We appreciate the call. Thank you so much, Beast. 14-win Jets. I mean, who knows? Anything is possible. We've seen so much misery. It almost feels like we are owed a 14-win season at some point. But hey, before we got this caller, we were up to the bye week. My prediction, I had the Steelers as a win, the Cowboys as a win, the Panthers as a win. That is 3 headed into the bye week. Let's recap weeks 10 through 18, starting with the Cleveland Browns. Beast broke it down beautifully for us. I mean, they're absolutely in no man's land. I think they had 5 quarterbacks at one point. I think they might have cut Kenny Pickett. But they took a couple gambles on Dylan Gabriel and Shador Sanders. There's going to be a big quarterback competition when they get to camp out there in Cleveland. It's going to be a very interesting team, but a not so good team. I get the Jets beating Cleveland pretty easily, pretty comfortably, especially when you've got 2 weeks to prepare for that game. There's no reason the Jets should be losing to the Browns on 2 weeks rest. I just can't see it happening. The Patriots is an interesting one. We haven't gotten them. Feels like a pretty late start to be seeing New England for the first time this season, our last divisional matchup to see for the first time. We travel to Massachusetts in week 11. This is our second and last, or technically our third, but our second and last night game of the season. 8:15 Prime Video, Thursday Night Football. I think we go to New England and lose. I think this is an easy season split with New England. I think these teams are pretty fairly matched. I think if Drake May's offensive line can sustain him and Stephon Diggs can do his thing and be the receiver that they wanted to, and Drake May continues his nice quarterback play from last year, New England could be a solid team in that AFC East division. I think this is an easy split, so I'll just take the easy way out and say the Jets win 1 at home and lose the 1 on the road. I think it is unfair to say that the Jets sweep the Patriots or other way around. Jimmy coming in. We play New England in 15 and 17. Yeah, they do that weirdly sometimes with the schedule. I remember last year, I think we started our first 4 games. Was it last year or the year before? I think it was last year, where we played all AFC North opponents in the first 4 weeks. Is a bit weird. So they've been doing that with the schedule lately. No, it wasn't last year. Maybe it was. I can't remember. But yeah, the schedule maker's been doing some weird things recently. And we have a lot of Southern time. Like you see this stretch week 13 to week 16. That's all down south. Falcons, Miami, Jacksonville, and Saints. So the Jets will have some time sunbathing this year for sure. And then the week after should speak for itself when we travel to Baltimore in week 12 to play the Ravens. I'm not even going to entertain the idea of the Jets winning this game. These are the defending AFC conference chip appearance. Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, way too strong of a duo for the Jets, especially with their defensive lineless roster to even think about contending with. They're a much better team than the Jets, and there is no way around it. I think this Baltimore game is our second or third blowout of the year. I think Cincinnati's a blowout. I think Buffalo is. I think this is our third blowout loss of the year in week 12. Will things brighten up in week 13? No. I am extremely high on Michael Penix. I am super excited to see what he can do with a full season's workload coming up. Atlanta improved. The Jets, still some question marks at the quarterback play on offense. I think Atlanta takes us there. Miami, I think we do get the split with them as well. So week 14, I'll take that as a win. So let me recap. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have that as our 5th win of the year in week 14. That would improve our record to 5 and 9. Then the Jets go to Jacksonville, followed by New Orleans. One of these has to be a win. These are 2 pretty weak teams in the weakest division in football. But they're the Jets, man. They're not going to win both of these games. I think that's ridiculous to say that they win both of these. Pick whichever you want. These are not good football teams either way you look at it. But let's be honest, neither are the Jets. I think it's fair that they win one of these. I think it's unrealistic that they win both of these. Finally, 17 and 18, back to the divisional opponents, the Patriots and the Bills to round out our season. I said they'd split with the Patriots, so let's give them that one. And then Buffalo, all depending on if they're playing starters, if they're still looking to move up in seeding. If Buffalo wants to win this game, they're going to win this game. If not, the Jets have a chance to beat Buffalo's backups and their B team. Overall, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a 7-win season for the New York Jets, finishing with a 7-10 record. I think Justin Fields plays exactly how we're looking at him. He develops a little bit in the run game. He sometimes has struggles passing the ball deep downfield. The offense takes strides in the right direction. I think Malachi Corley improves with his increased role in the offense. But overall, it's, for Jet standards, a pretty good season with what we're working with. For other standards, it is subpar, but a 7-10 record is what I've got. We've gone over the entire Jets 2025 schedule. Now we'll go back into the chat, answer a couple of your questions, a couple of your takes. Let's see. Where did I want to start? Beast, I remember in 2018, we beat them in Orchard Park. Last time we won there. I think Jack's talking about last time the Jets won in Buffalo. It was 2022 when they played AFC North opponents. Yeah, that seems right. Let's see here. I see Patriots, Jets by a hair week 17 because we lose Bills and Ravens back to back. You see the Patriots beating the Jets by a hair. Sorry, I missed that. Okay. And I'm assuming DTN by we, you mean the Patriots. Because I think you're a Patriots and Boston sports fan, if I can remember correctly. And also, the Jets don't play the Patriots after the Bills and Ravens back-to-back. So you must be talking about the Patriots DTN. I think this could flip-flop either way. I think the Jets and Patriots definitely split their season series. I think it's unfair to say one of those teams is much better than the other and they're going to sweep the series. That just doesn't seem right to me. That just doesn't seem true to me. I think that both teams have the ability to be a playoff team. I really do. I think the Patriots and the Jets both have the ability to be a 9-wins team as their ceiling. And these are pretty similarly constructed rosters. They've got talent. Patriots signed Stephon Diggs. Jets have Garrett Wilson, Christian Gonzalez, Sauce Gardner. I see the similarities lining up. It's going to come down to role players for both sides. It's going to come down to quarterback play. I think this is a pretty even matchup, Patriots-Jets. That's why I've got it being a series split. Italian Eddie Ralph, 6-11 on the season is your record prediction. Yeah, I think that's true. I think my floor is probably 5-12. There's no way that this Jets team wins less than 5. I mean, it would be a disaster, an atrocity if they did. But 6-11 feels like you're in the right ballpark. I would add in one more win. But considering where this Jets roster is at, that we didn't make a huge splash in free agency outside of Justin Fields, this sounds right. Brees is going to have a monster year, says JQuest57. I hope your 57 is referring to CJ Mosley. But Brees is going to have a monster year. I love this take because the offensive line is new and improved. I'm just not sure. Brees Hall, we haven't seen him have that. I mean, he just missed that 1,000-yard rushing season 2 years ago. He's been dealing with the lingering injuries. If there's anybody to work through and still be a workhorse, it's Brees Hall. I don't know what we're talking monster year. If he's going to be a 1,000-yard rusher, if he's going to have 12 touchdowns, I'm not sure about that. I'm excited to see how the new offensive scheme uses him out of the backfield. But Brees Hall having a monster year, that would be a huge plus for this team. And heck, maybe even figure out that you've got your long-term solution at running back, which would be a huge plus coming out of this season. Let's see. Back to Jay Quest. Josh, don't let them put you in your lockers because you're a Jets fan. Fight the bully. Stay strong. Amen. Jet fan strong. It'll never be anything else. Always have been, always will be. Jets fans strong for life. Our D could keep us relevant in some of these games, says Havmo63. Saw you in the Jake Asman chat. Shout out Havmo. But here's the thing. I think the secondary is great. Sauce Gardner playing alongside the duo of Brandon Stevens and Azirie Thomas. Michael Carter at the nickel. And the safety room is going to be much improved with Andre Cisco over the missed tackling machines that were back there last year, like Chuck Clark. Secondary is going to be big. Defensive tackle, obviously a big concern, I think, for everybody in the Jets building. The linebackers is going to be a huge thing because, look, no more CJ Mosley. It's time for a couple of these young guys to step up. It's time to see what our linebacking core is made of. Chaz Surratt, CJ Mosley. Sorry, not CJ Mosley. He just retired. Chaz Surratt, Quincy Williams, and Jamian Sherwood. Those are three of a couple of the pivotal guys who will make or break our defense. If they're going to be able to step up and shove the box and stop the run, help out that weak defensive tackle slot, I absolutely believe our defense could keep us in a couple of these games, especially against high-powered offenses that I'm looking at, like Cincinnati, like Baltimore, like Buffalo, and like Tampa Bay, and like Denver. But only if that linebacking group stays strong. We're going to need big-time play from our defensive ends getting home to the quarterback because I don't think Quinnen Williams and a couple of practice squad-level guys are going to do it in the middle. What is Josh's favorite locker to be stuffed in? I mean, what's even happening in the chat right now? Paul Costa chats in. Pats are busting the Jets' asses twice. I mean, what makes us say that, right? Are the Patriots that much better for some odd reason? Like, am I missing something? Are the Patriots, like, that much better? Paul, I see the Pats splitting with Miami. It seems like Miami. Little Patriots sidebars happening in the chat. I think the Patriots and Jets are very similar this year. Josh, what's the minimum that JF has to do to stay with the team next year? Justin Fields, he's talking about, to stay with the team next year. Look, they got him on a 2-year deal, so he'll stay with the Jets next year. What does he have to do to be the starter? First of all, he has to have at least a 7-win season. If not, if they lose 6 games and they have a high enough pick to draft out of the absolute stacked class that is the 26 NFL class, I mean, whether they like it or not, their franchise quarterback's going to be somewhere in that class, so they're going to be drafting. So maybe Justin Fields starts and is sort of a pre-course to whoever that drafted quarterback was, kind of like Kirk Cousins last year with the Vikings, and then Michael Penix took over when he really couldn't perform. Justin Fields doesn't win 7 games. Jets are going to have a high enough pick to get a stud in next year's draft. So it all depends on how he performs. And even if that win total does skyrocket for some odd reason that isn't his fault, I could really see the Jets just straight up moving on, maybe even trading up. Paul, because after the Jets game, the final game, yeah. More of this Patriot stuff. DTN with something for me. To be honest, Josh, I like how the Jets don't have like 6 primetime games compared to past years because that was laughable. DTN from a Patriots fan to a Jets fan, you speak for all of us, brother, because we were complete and utter horseshit. We were terrible under the lights. When the national media was watching, we were horrible. And it didn't help that they scheduled these 6, these 7, these 8 primetime games with the hopes of Aaron Rodgers coming in and leading the Jets to their first Super Bowl since Super Bowl 3. And he gets injured 4 plays in. And so now the entire world's got to watch Zach Wilson for 17 weeks. And the NFL can't do anything about it. And they've already scheduled the Jets with way too many primetime games because they were way overhyped in the offseason. Look, if Aaron Rodgers had stayed healthy, that would have been a great story to tell. But it was just all about how the Jets were crashing and burning like a forest fire. Every single primetime game, the story was how bad and how disappointing the Jets are. DTN, I hated all those primetime games too, my friend. Staying up late, watching your favorite team play football is great. You get to watch Red Zone all Sunday from 1 to 8 p.m. and not give a care in the world and just care about fantasy football. But man, Those days when the Jets were just struggling on primetime every week. Couldn't be more with you, DTN. That's a great take. So happy we have 1 p.m. games at primetime. And 1 p.m. games just feel like football to me. 7:15 in Miami. I mean, that just seems like somebody's, just got back from the freaking Miami clubs and they just so happen to flip on their TV. Monday Night Football is a joke. London, I like what they're doing in London, trying to grow the game there. 9:30 a.m. I don't mind waking up early. Then another Thursday night against the Patriots. I guess maybe they had to get the Patriots and Jets little division rivalry in for some prime time action. Guys, if you want to call into the show, please do. I'm about to post another comment with the link to our StreamYard. Beast was our first call. I'm looking for a couple more. Toss questions, toss opinions in the chat, talking everything schedule related. Oh, come on, Josh. Don't be harsh on that week 3 victory last year, 24-3. Well, Jack, that, my friend, was the high point of our season. It was all downhill from there. I enjoyed that primetime game, really. Aaron Rodgers looked like not his prime self, but his comfortable self. Hit a sweet touchdown pass, a couple of them. That was coming off of a scary, narrow victory in the week before in week 2. We were supposed to blow out the Titans, and we didn't. That week 3 game against the Patriots last year was awesome. Patriots had a major upgrade to their personnel and coaching. That's a good point. That is a good point that I kind of forgot about. Mike Vrabel is going to come in there and do his best to turn things around. Will he be able to, or will it be a similar Jerron Mail situation? I certainly think he'll be able to clean things up. Mike Vrabel is one of my top coaching candidates for the Jets. Obviously chose New England first, though. But yeah, I guess the Patriots upgrade their personnel and coaching. Maybe that has them going here. Let's see. Beast, I see you're still backstage. Beast, if you want to come back on, give me a big thumbs up. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the Beast Breaker has spoken. Looks like he wants to come back out here. I'm going to give him another round because he brought pure entertainment last night. Welcome to the stage, Police Officer Beast Breaker himself.
Did you watch
Mr. Beast Breaker?
Did you watch Jake Asman this afternoon?
Absolutely. I called in, Beast.
Well, I sent Bobby Beasley to the hole, right? He was asking for it. Oh, you
had an entertaining segment, Beast.
He had it coming. See, it's called, when you start running your mouth, it's called, see you later, alligator. Bye-bye.
I don't know, Beast. There's some opinions on you in the chat. I mean,
well,
I'm scrolling back up to the last time you called in, Beast.
Let me finish.
I'm scrolling up a little bit, and help. Little Joey needs help.
That's Bobby Beasley, right?
What about this? What about this? Jimmy Jets Beast protecting his Twinkie trucks.
That's Bobby Beasley trying to impress. See, I know Bobby Beasley from the back of my hand. I got Bonesy as my lawyer, and whatever Bobby Beasley comes up with, I got him. I'm gonna nail him right to the wall. See, he knows he's busted on. You know how many YouTube accounts this man has been making? He's made over 15 YouTube accounts, and that's illegal. See, he knows that's gonna land him in, hot water to the slammer. So, like I said hundreds of times, I don't want to talk about this guy because I exposed him enough here. I'm here to talk business, football, and peer pressure. What our boys need to do.
Beast, you're losing our viewers.
I'm not gonna talk about that right now. Preseason football is right around the corner in about 3 more months. We need to start doing the stuff that we need to start doing. Get our boys to training camp, get them to prepare, and I think for preseason, I think we're gonna get the Giants again. As usual.
Yeah, we always do.
Uh-huh.
I love that little crosstown rivalry.
You know what they should do at MetLife Stadium? They should do this every year. The Giants logo on the left, the Jets logo on the right. Do it like that. Do it multicolor like that. Make the game look real and make it look professionalized. And we should get 2 other teams that we should be getting.
Whatever makes you happy, Beast. Whatever preseason.
You know what we should do for preseason besides getting the Giants? We should get Tampa, and then maybe a possibility. I would like to see Philadelphia come to our house.
Sure, Beast. It's preseason. We're running third stringers who may or may not make the practice squad. I really don't care who we play.
I do want to see Michael Clemens go. He's
All right, here we go. $5 super chat. Our guy Gil coming in. We need a wide receiver too. Do you think Olave is too risky if we can get him for a 4th-round pick when you pull the trigger? Yo, Beast, F Bobby Beasley. Well, Beast, I'll let you respond to Gil here, and then I'll take his Olave.
Mr. Gill, I do want to make one point loud and clear. This Bobby Beasley person is a fraud. I already exposed him. If you want to come on the Jake Asman show and see all the proof that I laid down on that loser, he got smoked, canned, and tuned out. So bye-bye to him. Now let's get back to business, shall we? The preseason is going to start very soon. I'd like to see that.
Jackson, Packers, Eagles, Giants.
Oh, wait a second. That actually looks real good.
All right,
I like it.
You gonna
that
be
actually
at
pretty good. We never get the Packers. You know why? The Packers always get the Bears and 2 other weirdo teams. So you know what? That actually looks good. I like it.
All right.
I like it.
Beast, I'm glad you love our preseason schedule.
Yeah, well,
anything else before I let you go? We got DTN on the line behind
in order for but here's the thing with preseason. We need to let the youngsters develop. I want to see what they can do first. We don't bring them here to sit and look pretty. No. Just because they're freshmen, okay, here's the deal. Just because you're freshmen, that doesn't mean you're going to sit and look pretty. You're going to get up, put that helmet on, you're going to get out there, and you're going to get punched around a couple of times. Okay, sure. I'm going to tell you this. Busted knees, broken ribs, broken backs, sore shoulders. Your rookies are going to learn pain comes a price. To our veterans, they know this game because they've been around it. To the rookies, you need to learn discipline, and you're going to learn it the hard way come first game. Don't worry about the fans. Don't worry about the media. Forget the country clubs. Just shut up, get your jersey on, and get your ass on the field and fight. F-I-G-H-T, fight.
You know what? Aaron Glenn needs to pipe this into the Jets locker room. Somebody clip that Get Beasts message into the Jets locker room. As the great Aaron Glenn once said,
here's what I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Beast, that's
you bet your ass on that one. You know why? Yeah. Because everything counts for one reason and one reason only. See these little bad boys right here? These are prepaid credit cards. I know how to use these suckers real easy. Not rocket science, man. All you gotta do is use them wisely. And money is money. But I remember what Willy Wonka once said: "Candy is dandy, but liquor is thicker." Did you ever watch Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory as a kid?
Yeah, classic.
Very good. Very good. I would highly recommend read the book from 71. It is a great classic one. And Brigga knows I'm a classic man myself. I'm very classic. Let me just say this. 5 of the top corporations that I own here in the U.S. are very hard to come by. I didn't get it on nickel and dime. I did it by breaking bones and breaking backs. It ain't that easy doing the job, but we're gonna win this year, 14-2. But in order to do that, you need to keep Aaron Glenn's feet to the fire.
All right, Beast. Appreciate the call. Good luck to New York Knicks in the playoffs. Appreciate the message. Hit us with a salute as we remove you. See you, Beast. DTN. Next up to call in. I'm hoping he has some reactions from the Beast breakdown. DTN, welcome to the show. Can you hear me? What's going on?
What's up, Connor? What's up, Josh? How are you doing?
Pretty good, DTN. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing good. I just looked at your schedule, and hear me out before all of you Jets fans go at me saying that the Patriots will sweep the Jets. I don't think it's gonna be like a blowout. I agree with you saying that the Jets and the Patriots are similar, but I think it's gonna be at least competitive. Like I would see like either the Jets or the Patriots win by a field goal. I don't see them like winning by several touchdowns because that would be embarrassing. But here's the reason why I would think the Patriots would beat the Jets in Week 17, only because my thought process is like Mike Vrabel was so angry after like losing to the Bills and the Ravens to the point that he needs to light a fire in the Patriots behind, considering that I would think I love the bye week for us, which is like week 14 of the schedule. So basically, I would consider like Bills, Ravens, Jets, and Dolphins to conclude our season to be more like a final exam for the Patriots. As for your Jets, I did allude to how I like your schedule, considering that I expected at least like one or two prime time games for the Jets because
I
when
think
I see
everybody gets one.
well, yeah, except for the Saints, Titans, and Browns because they don't deserve it.
Maybe a couple of exceptions, but yeah, I mean, but what about the Patriots coming in with two probably blowout losses, maybe 20 plus blowout losses? DTN, could their heads be, hanging low? Vibes aren't great, and the Jets take advantage of that and make their worst nightmares come true and put them on a 3-game slide. I mean, do we think the
Um,
Patriots are just going to be able to turn it around on a dime?
well, we shall see. It is your home turf. I'm not gonna lie. At least it's I don't see the Ravens being. I do see at least one blowout against Baltimore, but it seems like in years past when we go up against Baltimore, it's more like back to back and shootouts. But with Buffalo, I know we take games off of Buffalo, but Buffalo they'll do whatever the heck they want. It doesn't even matter. At least it doesn't matter if it's like a blowout or at least we lose by a hair or a missed field goal. It's just it has to be the mentality. But after the Jets game, it doesn't even matter because you got Miami to conclude the season, and I would see more of a split with Miami for me because Miami, we always struggle against Miami. It doesn't matter with Tua, with how bad the team is. It seems like we couldn't beat Miami, but with Vrabel under center, I think there will be ways to beat Miami because we both agree that Miami is a dumpster fire. Their
Yeah,
GM
Miami's
is
Miami's going in the wrong direction, DTN. I think you're right there. I think they have no clear direction. They're not going to win anything anytime soon. I think at some point they got to break down this roster, realize that it's time to redo this whole thing, build it from the ground up, including with a new quarterback, and maybe Tua can even save his life while he's at it. DTN, anything final before I let you go?
Oh, well, I've seen the rest of the Next Gen Jets crew, but this is like my first time meeting you, so I think you're doing a great job with the show, handling down while Connor's busy doing something else, but I can't wait to see the future for you and the rest of Next Gen Jets, excuse me.
Thanks, DTN. Really appreciate it and really appreciate your call. Good luck, but not so good luck to a hated division rival, your New England Patriots this season. Appreciate the call, DTN. If you yourself want to call in or you have any ideas, throw this in the chat. Just sent the link. It just got pasted if you want to call in. Matthew Smith, no Pats fans allowed. This guy is buns. Well, yeah, we do hate the Patriots around here, but I'm never going to hate on a Pats caller who's just trying to be nice and talk a little bit of Jets schedule release. Let's see, backing up in the chat. The NFL Jack seems like the NFL uses the Jets for drama. I mean, if you were going to script the NFL at some point, New York would be a pretty good place to talk about it, but absolutely not. Man, there's always drama around the Jets, but let's back up to the super chat with Gil and talk about the first start of this. We need a wide receiver too. Absolutely. I think right now the wide receiver two probably would be considered Josh Reynolds. Maybe Alan Lazard. The drops are obviously a concern. Do you think Olave is too risky? Look, he has gotten beaten up recently with the concussions, but he's been really consistent when he's on the field. If we can get him for a 4th-round pick, would you pull the trigger? Let me look at Chris Olave's contract details, and I'll bring it up. But Chris Olave is a great player when he's on the field. Let me see when his contract expires. So he signed a 4-year, $20 million contract with the Saints. That's running through 2026. So we'd really only have him. The money's not an issue because he's still on his rookie deal. But we'd really only have him for this year and next. And they already picked up his club option for 2026, did the Saints. 4th-round pick for 2 years of Chris Olave. I think that's absolutely worth it. I think that even though this Jets team isn't trying to make a deep playoff run, You're right. They really need the wide receiver help they can get. I feel like a 4th-round pick for 2 years of good quality Chris Olave would for sure be worth it. Gil, appreciate the super chat. $5 is much appreciated. Super chats cut the line. Anybody else want to call in? Get your word. Or just want to toss a couple things around in the chat. I meant to say, Jack, it seems like all good. You got it. Hey, Matthew, I joined this channel because of the AFC East roundtable, and I thought it would be interesting. Oh, that's in response to the No Pats fans lad. Well, that's all I've got from my end of things. Again, I get the Jets as a 7-win teams, just to recap. Wins against the Steelers, the Cowboys, the Panthers, the Browns, splitting with the Patriots, splitting with the Dolphins, one in South Florida, or southern end of the East Coast, Jacksonville and New Orleans. They got to split one of those. 7-10 is my final record predictions. Any last thoughts before we go? Party with Peg and Arnie. Josh, great job. Appreciate it. Appreciate you all sticking with us for almost an hour-long stream while Connor, I guess, was at his sister's play. Yes, we're still live, but just about to wrap up. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Appreciate the great calls from Beast and DTN. A great schedule talk about video. Thank you all so much for watching. Appreciate you all tuning in, and especially Gil for that $5 super chat. We will see you all on the next one. And as always, we ended off with every stream a JETS, 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 Jets. Good night, everybody.